It was an ordinary morning for a local animal rescuer who was out doing her usual rounds, checking on strays in the area. But little did she know, this day would bring an extraordinary challenge and an even greater reward. As she turned a corner, she spotted something moving faintly in the distance. It was a puppy, thin and trembling, his ribs visibly outlined beneath his frail coat. The rescuer hurried to his side, her heart sinking at the sight of his condition. The puppy looked up with soulful, pleading eyes, but he was too weak to stand. He seemed to have appeared out of nowhere. No one in the neighborhood had seen him before. There was no collar, no sign of a family searching for him. It was as if he had been dropped into her path by fate itself. One thing was clear. He hadn't eaten in a very long time. Without hesitation, the rescuer scooped the puppy into her arms and rushed him home. His fragile body was so light that she felt a lump in her throat. It was a stark reminder of how close he was to succumbing to starvation. She offered him some food and water, but his stomach was too weak to take much. Instead, she kept him warm and called her local veterinarian to arrange for an emergency checkup. At the clinic, the vets assessed the puppy and confirmed he was severely malnourished. Deworming was the first and most urgent step. The vets explained that internal parasites could be stealing whatever little nutrition he had left, worsening his already dire condition. Deworming would give him a chance to start absorbing nutrients again, something his frail body desperately needed. The procedure went smoothly, but it was just the beginning of his journey. Blood tests were ordered to determine if there were any underlying conditions. The rescuer named the puppy Veer as a symbol of the second chance at life she hoped to give him. She decided to adopt him temporarily, at least until he had fully recovered. Her home became his sanctuary, a safe space where he could begin to heal. Just as things seemed to be stabilizing, an unexpected crisis struck. Late one evening, Veer suddenly collapsed. His body went limp, and he stopped responding to his rescuer's voice. Feeling concerned about his condition, she rushed him back to the clinic. The vets quickly diagnosed him with hypoglycemia, a dangerously low blood sugar level that can be fatal if not treated immediately. The medical team worked swiftly, administering glucose to stabilize his condition. Veer's small body shivered as the vets monitored him closely, watching for any signs of improvement. After what felt like an eternity, his eyes fluttered open. It was a small victory, but it filled the room with hope. Though the immediate crisis had passed, Veer was not out of the woods. Over the next few days, the vets continued to monitor him closely. He began vomiting intermittently, a worrying sign that his digestive system was still struggling to recover from prolonged starvation. This setback required careful management. The vets adjusted his diet to include small, frequent meals of easily digestible food. The rescuer stayed by Veer's side every step of the way, feeding him with a syringe when he was too weak to eat on his own. Gradually, Veer's condition began to improve. His vomiting subsided, and he started to show signs of renewed energy. He would wag his tail faintly when the rescuer approached, a heartwarming signal that he was beginning to trust her. It was clear he felt safe in her care. As the days turned into weeks, Veer's transformation was nothing short of miraculous. He grew stronger with each passing day, his appetite increasing as his body healed. His dull, patchy coat began to regain its shine, and his eyes sparkled with life once more. The rescuer marveled at his resilience, amazed at how far he had come in such a short time. The bond between Veer and his rescuer deepened. He followed her around the house, his little paws patting softly behind her. At night, he would curl up next to her on the couch, his head resting on her lap. She couldn't help but smile every time he looked up at her with those expressive eyes, filled with gratitude and love. Veer's playful personality began to emerge as his health improved. He loved chasing after a squeaky toy the rescuer had bought him, his tiny tail wagging furiously with excitement. Each joyful bark and wag of his tail was a testament to the power of love and care. By the end of his recovery journey, Veer had become a vibrant, happy puppy. His days were now filled with playtime, cuddles, and endless affection from his rescuer. Though she had initially planned to foster him temporarily, she couldn't bear the thought of letting him go. Veer had found his forever home, and she had found a loyal companion who filled her life with joy. The experience of rescuing Veer left a lasting impact on the rescuer. She knew there were countless other animals out there in need of help, and she was more determined than ever to continue her work. Veer's story became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even the most vulnerable lives can be saved with compassion and perseverance. Veer's journey from an abandoned puppy to a life filled with love and happiness is a powerful example of what can be achieved when someone cares enough to take action. His story serves as an inspiration to others, encouraging them to look out for animals in need and to offer help whenever possible. This fragile puppy, who seemed to have appeared out of nowhere, embodied vulnerability in its rawest form. His gaunt frame and weary eyes told a story of neglect and survival, but also one of hope. Hope that someone would notice, and someone did. The rescuer's decision to take Veer in wasn't just a life-saving act, it was a testament to the power of compassion. Bringing him home, feeding him, and making him feel safe were simple actions, yet they became the foundation for his recovery. It reminds me of how often the smallest gestures can spark the biggest changes. Deworming might seem like a routine procedure, but for Veer it was a turning point. It highlighted the meticulous care needed for an animal in his condition. Deworming allowed his body to absorb nutrients again, giving him a chance to fight. It's a reminder that even the most overlooked steps in rescue and rehabilitation are crucial in giving animals like Veer a second lease on life. His collapse from low blood sugar was a moment of deep vulnerability. It must have been terrifying for the rescuer to see him suddenly limp, his fragile body seemingly giving up. But what stands out to me is how swiftly help was sought, and how the vets worked tirelessly to stabilize him. It was a delicate balance of science and care that pulled him through, a true testament to the dedication of those who work with animals in their weakest moments. Watching Veer vomit intermittently after that crisis must have been heartbreaking. It was a clear sign that his recovery wouldn't be straightforward. Adjusting his meals, monitoring his health, and simply being there for him required time and effort. It's a reminder that healing, especially for vulnerable creatures, is rarely linear. As Veer began to grow stronger, his resilience shone. The wagging of his tail, however faint at first, was a symbol of his trust in the rescuer. It's remarkable how animals like Veer, despite their hardships, are capable of such unconditional love and gratitude. His bond with the rescuer, built over days of care and nurturing, speaks volumes about the power of love in healing both body and spirit. What resonates most with me is how this journey transformed not just Chance but also his rescuer. What began as an act of temporary care became a lifelong commitment. The decision to adopt Chance was an acknowledgement of the bond they had formed, a bond that neither could imagine breaking. Veer's story reminds us that rescue work is more than just saving a life. It's about creating an environment where trust, love, and recovery can flourish. It's about recognizing the potential for a better life, even in the direst circumstances, and taking the steps to make it happen. For anyone who has ever wondered if their actions could make a difference, Chance's journey is a resounding yes. Every life matters, and with care and commitment, even the most vulnerable can thrive. His story inspires me to believe in the resilience of animals and the incredible strength of the human-animal bond. For those watching this video, Veer's transformation is a reminder that even small acts of kindness can make a world of difference. Whether it's providing food and water to a stray, volunteering at a shelter, or adopting a rescue animal, every effort counts. Together, we can create a world where every animal has a chance to live a healthy, happy life. Veer is proof that, with love, care, and determination, miracles can happen. Thank you for joining us in celebrating Veer's incredible journey. If his story touched your heart, please share this video and help spread awareness about the importance of animal rescue.